Hi everyone, my name is Viola Asri. I'm a postdoc from the University of Konstanz, and I'm very glad to present today our paper on targeting of social pensions and local governance in Bangladesh. So why are we motivated to study this topic of mistargeting again, which has been documented as a problem for so many different social transfer schemes and countries around the world? So actually what we're looking at is the underlying local governance issues that might lead to mistargeting, because many international organizations or academic papers would point out that mistargeting is due to local governance issues and weak local governance, but we do not really understand what are the underlying problems on the ground. So in this paper, we are asking what are the underlying reasons for mistargeting, and we examine this for the context of a national social pension program in Bangladesh. To do so, we use data from a survey which captures basically the socioeconomic situation and the experience with the old age allowance beneficiary selection for general elderly population, new beneficiaries, and local government representatives and officials in charge of carrying out the selection of beneficiaries. We're combining the survey data with a lab and the field experiment that we carried out with local government representatives. And this lab and the field experiment was basically designed to capture hidden traits and preferences of the local decision makers in charge. We're using the dice game by Fischbach and Palmihoisi to measure the preference to life for private gain, which has also been used in the context of India's selection to public service by Hanna and Wang. We use the donation task, or a variant of the dictator game, to measure benevolence towards elderly poor. And last but not least, the rating task, in which we request local government representatives and officials to evaluate the eligibility of different profiles of elderly to understand how they weigh the different criteria. So indeed, mistargeting is a major problem in this context. So what we see here is that beneficiaries are as eligible as non-beneficiaries, and beyond the official criteria that predict social pension received, including age, income, land, there are also illegitimate predictors of social pension received, namely the ability to work, so being physically fitter, you're more likely to receive a social pension, or having a connection to a local government representative is also a strong predictor of social pension received. So especially this last point, the personal connection to a local government representative, hints at this explanation of corruption being the main concern here. But when we look at our proxy for corrupt behavior, the preference to life for private gain, we do indeed observe that local government representatives and officials lie for private gain significantly, but this does not make the relevance of personal connections for social pension received any stronger. So there's no significant relationship between the dishonesty of the local government representatives and the relevance of personal connection for receiving social pensions. So we cannot empirically confirm that corruption is the underlying relevant cause, and we examine alternative causes, in particular potential capacity constraints, further. So what we see here is that local government representatives struggle to aggregate the different eligibility criteria. When they're being asked to rate different profiles of elderly females, hypothetical profiles, their ratings actually vary from 0 to 100 for 8 out of 9 profiles. And further, we do observe that they actually have only very partial knowledge of the eligibility criteria. So they do state correctly the age threshold, but do not know the correct land or income threshold. And a majority of the local government representatives also request support for eligibility assessment, and in particular express need for staff and data. So to conclude, this study examines the underlying reasons for mistargeting in the context of social pensions in Bangladesh. And we do find that mistargeting is indeed a major problem, but we cannot empirically confirm that corruption, which is a very common interpretation, that this is the underlying cause of mistargeting. We provide further insights into major capacity constraints, and we point out the need to address these capacity constraints in the future. So building on these insights, we are currently running an impact evaluation of a policy intervention in collaboration with the Ministry of Social Welfare to understand better how these major capacity constraints could be mitigated to improve targeting of social pensions in the future. Thank you very much.